Hello, I am Dan, aka the tipster in a suit, and I may not have been to the most racetracks. No, we've definitely not seen the most horses, but I am the best judge of race form that I know, and I'm here to prove it. Again, as always, a massive thank you to everyone who's liked, subscribed. It does mean an awful lot. If you haven't subscribed and you could just smash that subscribe button below, it would mean a lot to me. It's absolutely free, it costs you nothing. Do leave a like on the video if you do like it, and more importantly, leave a comment on what you think of some of these selections that are coming up, and I will definitely get back to you. Just a little, caveat with all of these. I have backed all of these myself. They are smaller stakes, and I wouldn't say any of them are main selections at the moment, apart from the last two that I've had a little bit of a bigger go on. But they are ones for you to just go away, have a look, see what you think of those horses. And, if one comes in off this list of 10, then, that is Festival going pretty well. So without further ado, we'll get in and we'll start with Sepage in the Ultima, who is a massive 50-1. Now, he is a 12-year-old in this race, in a race that's normally dominated by novices, to be fair, but he is English trained and there hasn't been an Irish trained winner since 2006, so that would be helpful. Now, he is a formerly really classy horse. He used to be rated 158, and that was only a couple of seasons back. He showed he still holds some of that class, where he breezed clear at Cheltenham over 2 mile 4 earlier in the season. I think he put 7 lengths between himself and Lord Dumanil, and that was off a mark of 137. He's since disappointed in 2 veterans chases and has been dropped £2 for those runs. So he gets in on the Ultimate off 140, only £3 higher for that decimation job done earlier in the season. It's also at a track that he loves. He's won at the track twice and he's finished second a couple more times as well. So a formerly real classy horse who's now £18 lower in the weights has won at the track already this season. I think he's well worth a punt at 50-1. Next on the list is Lucky Place, who is 33-1 in the Ballymore. Now, I'm going to start again. I'm fully aware that he's entered in 4 different races. He is only a 12-1 shot for the Coral Cup, and he's nicely handicapped at 137. However, Henderson does appear to have more ammunition for the handicaps than he does for this Ballymore race. I expect First Street now, thanks to the community who let me know he's going to go Coral Cup. Doddy the Great, and he's got another one near the top of the list as well for the Coral Cup. Whereas in the Ballymore, he's only got Django Bay, who's disappointed twice when ran at this trip. Back to the selection of Lucky Place. Last time out, he ran an absolute cracker where he did initially rally ahead of Gidley Park before he just got collared in the last few 200 yards. Now, Gidley Park could be a classy animal, to be fair. He's likely to go to the Albert Bartlett. But they put some distance, I think it was 7-8 lengths between themselves and Johnny Who and Isaac Desobo. Now, Johnny Who, again, he was placed in the Grade 1 Shallow Hurdle and is likely to step up in trip, while Isaac Desobo is nicely bred, probably going to be a better chaser than hurdler, but has won twice this season, so it isn't bad form at all. I expect Henderson, I'm taking a swing. All of these are non-runner, no bet as well, just to clarify. So if he doesn't run, I get my money back, it's not a problem. But I think Henderson will take a swing at the Ballymore with Lucky Place. And at 33-1, I fully expect him to outrun those odds with, course form in the book. So yeah, Lucky Place at 33-1. Next up is Carrier des Blazes. Again, I apologise if I butchered that name in the Boodles. I've got 33-1 on her. Now, the form ties in with a main contender, Nadawi. Nadawi has gone on and been impressive since, where he was about 15 lengths clear, eased down, only winning by 3. However, the form of that race looks relatively strong. Miss Manzoor won it and will be £3 higher than my selection. And they raced off level weights that day. Nadawi only got gave £2 to them on that day, and now has to give a stone to my selection. I went back and watched the race, and she hurdles absolutely fine. And if you watch the last 2 furlongs, it is my selection who is finishing strongest going towards the line. I think 33-1 is seeing the selection being overlooked by the other 2 in the market, who are 16 and 9-1 respectively. And if you take the form of that race literally, she's weighted best out of the three of them to go into the Boodles. So at 33 to 1, I've had a punt on her. Next up is Itchy Feet in the Pertemps, who is a massive 66 to 1. He won only 2 runs back off 137 to qualify for the race, and he was only put up £4, but has since dropped £1, so he's down to 140. If you go back and watch the Pertemps last year, he did finish 11th. However, they all finished in a bunch, and he was only 6 lengths off Good Time Johnny and was 2-3 lengths back from second place. He had to race fairly wide as they were turning in. He was something like 7 or 8 horses wide. He's widest of all of them as they're turning in. He finishes strongly and had to be switched inside in the run-up as well. So he did not get a clear passage throughout that race at all. I expect if he was a bit more prominently ridden and had a clearer passage, he would have finished further up, and therefore his mark would have been higher and he'd be racing off higher. He's also a formerly classy novice chaser. He won grade 1s as a novice chaser. So I think this mark does underestimate him, and I think the price massively overlooks him. He's also got the greatest jockey riding at the moment, Sean Bowen. Anyone with Sean Bowen on board, it must be taken more seriously. He is a fantastic rider, gets the best out of the horses each and every time. You know he's riding to win, and hopefully this will add to his tally to go on and be the champion jockey. So it's a classy Itchy Feet at 66 to 1 in the Pertemps. Next up is the Jello in the Arkle. Now it looks a wide open race, the Arkle, this year, particularly with Marine Nationale coming out. And if you look at the RPRs and the official rating of all of these ones at the top of the market, they're all really bunched together. Found 50, Facile Vega V was to turn up, Illitate Tomts, all of their form ties in with each other. You've got Quilixios, who's a formerly, Triumph winner and could be the class angle in this race. But I don't think their form is that much better than the British lot. And again, the British lot form is all fairly tied in. JPR1 is top of the Brits at 8 to 1. Yet he's the lowest official rated at 145. And DeGello beat Master Chewy, who's 16 points lower in the betting. Fair and square, I'd say. They did miss the last jump, but they had a battle. They eyeballed each other, and it was DeGello who got on top up at the line. I think his RPR of 151 is only £4 or £5 lower than those market principles, yet you're getting 33 to 1 on the horse. He did fall last time. It was a bit of a nasty fall, but hopefully he's okay and bounced back and will give a good run in the Arkle. Next up I've got is You Wear It Well in the Mare's Hurdle at 50 to 1. She was the winner of the novice race last year and won it fairly comfortably, in my opinion. And she went off a strong favourite for it's the grade 1 at Sandown that's slipping my mind, not the Tolworth, the Fighting Fifth that was rearranged. I was there that day, that's right, the Fighting Fifth. It was super boggy, heavy ground and not so sleepy, went on and won that one. But I'm not convinced 2 miles anymore is her best trip. She then ran at Doncaster and was just touched off by Marie's Rock, but that was over 3 miles. And again, I think that might have been a little bit too far for her. Marie's Rock is a good enough stayer, is a good enough yardstick, and to only lose a length, that's not bad form at all. Last time out, I think you could put a line through that run. She clearly underperformed as an odds-on favourite, finishing, some distance back, and I'm happy to put a line through that. But at 50 to 1 on a horse that was only 1 length behind Marie's Rock, who's a 12 to 1 shot, I'd rather take 4 times the price on You Wear It Well to bounce back to form at Cheltenham at a track that she acts at, and a former festival winner. I think 50 to 1 is too big. Next up, I think at the start I might have said 25 to 1. There is one 20 to 1 in there, and it's Sire de Burley in these stayers. Now, I had a massive £1 on Sire de Burley on the Betfair Exchange last year at 113 to 1. Gutted I didn't put more on. But he is a 3-time festival winner. He's won 2 Pertemps and he's won the stayers. Last year, he arguably was better than ever when winning that grade 1. And then he went on and won at Aintree as well. He then followed up and was only 3/4 of a length behind a more fresh Classical Dream, who himself is a classy stayer. So he had a fantastic spring last year. He never performs in the winter. You can ignore that run in 7th last time out. He always saves his best for the spring. And while I am worried about him being a 12, 13-year-old come the festival, I don't think the race is any stronger than it was last year. You have got young pretenders like Crambo coming up. Tia Hooper will be a year older, but 4 or 5 times the price for a proven festival winner who you know is going to act at the track, I think it's just too big. So 20-1 on Sire de Burley in the Stayers. Next up, I've gone for Unexpected Party in the plate at 33-1. Now, on all form this season and half of last season, you can forget any chance he would win off 138. However, if you go back and look at the Turners last year, he was only 8 lengths off the 166 rated Stage Star and had Not Long Till May, the ill-fated Not Long Till May, and the ill-fated Mighty Potter ahead of him, finishing as he finished 4th. He did show some of that class when he was beating Nappers Hill early in the season to finally shed his novice tag. But you know Scouten's going to be having some plot jobs lined up throughout the festival. And I think Unexpected Party, if he was to run to his best RPR of 149 off his current rating of 138, he arguably has the most in hand out of any horse in this race. It is questionable whether he will turn up, but we've seen Scouten do it with Langadan, who puts in shocker after shocker after shocker before going and winning at the festival. And I've got a feeling Unexpected Party could be a similar ilk here. So I took 33-1 for him in the plate. Again, I just want to reiterate, all of these are non-runner no bet, so if any of them go anywhere else, I will be getting my money back. And the next one, the reason I say that is Bottler's Secret at 40-1 for the Triumph. I was looking through all of the markets, and this one I didn't expect to get drawn into, but the more I look at it, the more I think he's just an outrageous price. He ran 19 days ago in a grade 3 where he absolutely bolted up. He was previously a 87 rated flat performer, but he only had 3 or 4 runs on the flat before he was passed hands to Gavin Cromwell. Now, Cromwell must have thought well of him to throw him straight into a grade 3 where he duly delivered. I've rewatched the race a few times. His first 3-4 jumps, he does jump higher than he needs to. He does skew a little bit in the air. But as they're starting to get to the business end of the race, he's jumping slick enough. I don't think he makes that much errors in the last few flights. What impressed me more is when the jockey asked the question, he duly delivers. They went a fair enough gallop the whole way round. And when asked for that, next gear, he finds it, and he found it well. He put 10 lengths between himself and second. He put 20 lengths between himself and third. Now that third horse is a 125 rated horse, and he's 20 lengths ahead of that. Also looking at the times, there was 3 races that day all over the same distance. He was 4 seconds quicker than the maiden, and he was 3 seconds quicker than the handicap winner, who was 120 rated and was carrying 10-11, so £3 less. So again, if you're talking 3 seconds a length on normally good to soft, and it was soft there, that's 12 lengths he would have won by, carrying an extra £3. If you look at the RPR that produced as well, it's the best of any horse that hasn't run in a grade 1, and it's only 3 RPR lower than the likes of Bunting and horses like that, who all got their best RPRs at the DRF. I'm happy to take an angle of a horse that's coming in from an alternative route, who hasn't been seen in any of the bigger races and could potentially spring a surprise. Now, the only cons I'm seeing are obviously Sergino at the top of the market is an absolute monster, and he did run 19 days ago as of today, so the turnaround may be too quick and he may not run. But I have got non-runner no bet, so if he doesn't turn up, I will be getting my money back. So I have put a little bit extra on him, and he's currently 40-1 with Bet MGM in the Triumph. So do go and have a look. If there's one that you go away and have a look, Bottler's Secret in the Triumph, I think he's massively overpriced. He could be potentially on the form lines from that graded win, a 140 rated horse, which could be enough for the Triumph. Last but not least, it's a bit of a cheat one. I've gone for Petit Tonnerre in the county. For a full deep dive into that one, please do check out my last video that I did. It was the selection that I did in that one. But essentially, he's had a fair enough campaign over fences, where he's had, the form keeps getting boosted in each race that he's in. And they decided to keep his novice tag, and they're putting him back over hurdles. Now, he is entered up in the Imperial Cup for 100 grand on Saturday. Hopefully Connections decide not to go that route. But even if they did, it's only a £5 penalty for winning that if he was to win. And I think off 141, he has the potential to win the county hurdle, where he was a fast finishing sixth last year off the same mark. But if he doesn't win, he gets in off 136 and could have an outstanding chance. So there we are. I tried to rattle through those as quickly as possible, but they are my 10 selections at 20-1 or bigger for the Cheltenham Festival this year. Do have a look at yourselves. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and I will catch you on the next one.